Cars within the last decade have been very competitive, especially in the technology field. These technologies help the drivers to be safer and aid them on the road. Some of the technologies have been introduced for a period of time, but car manufacturers continue to embrace it and improve it. Here are the 7 technology features that car buyers should consider when buying their next car. Before we get into the video, make sure to click on the subscribe button down below and click the bell for the notifications on any new videos on my channel. With that out of the way, let's get into today's video. Number 1. Adaptive Cruise Control. In the 1990s, both the Japanese and German manufacturers have implemented this feature in their luxury flagship vehicle. The purpose for this feature is to have a cruise control while reading the car speed ahead. When the car ahead is increasing the speed, the driver will follow the speed and will increase. Also, this feature will help prevent front collision when the sensors will read the car speed ahead, which will help the car to slow down or maybe stop. Some manufacturers will have this feature and will help make the complete stop when the car is stopped ahead. This is a very useful feature for long distance driving and traffic commutes because the car will help adjust the speed while driving. By having this feature, this will help the driver to be less stressful and allow the car to adjust the speed with the following traffic. Number 2. The top view camera. Although production cars in the United States are required to have a backup camera, some manufacturers have an option of a top view camera. This means that the driver could see the car from the helicopter view. By having this option, this could help the driver to see the surrounding of the car. Also, this feature will help entering and exiting tight spaces and parking lots, since the driver could now have a better vision to steer the car in the correct position. Some luxury car manufacturers have this option for parking purposes, while some manufacturers have the cameras to see the front, the side, and the rear of the car while driving in slow speeds. By having this feature, this will help drivers to see the surrounding area of the car, making it easier for the drivers to maneuver in the tight spaces and making the right moves. Number 3. The head-up display. In the 1990s, General Motors introduced a head-up display technology, which was similar to what military fighter jets use to see the information. In the early 2000s, the C-5 Corvette was the first performance car to equip with a head-up display, showing the speed and the RPM. A few years later, BMW introduced it in the E60 5 Series, and from there, other manufacturers follow along with it. Today, BMW, Audi, Mercedes, and Lexus are some of the luxury brands that offer the head-up display. Even Toyota, Mazda, and Hyundai also have this option too. The purpose for having the head-up display is to put information such as the speed limit, navigation, the speed traveling, and phone calls while driving. This prevents people from looking away while driving because the information is displayed in front. Over these years, car manufacturers continue to put this technology and focusing on the driver to stay focused on the road. Number 4. The blind spot monitor. When traveling in a busy street or freeway, there are a lot of cars. When people are entering or exiting the freeway, looking at the traffic behind can be tricky. Some cars from the back could drive very fast, and the driver may not see it. By having this feature, the car could detect the cars from the far distance behind. It will help see the driver's blind spot and will alert the driver when there is a car or a motorcycle in the back, which could help prevent collision. Some cars will alert the driver by vibrating the steering wheel, or making the sound, or show a light in the mirrors, telling the driver to watch out for the traffic before making the lane change. This feature will be useful for going on freeways or busy streets, allowing the drivers to make the lane change easier. Number 5. Lane Assist. When driving long straight roads, it could be very boring. In addition, it could cause the driver to pay less attention on the road and possibly could fall asleep. Lane assist will help the driver to stay in the lane. Some cars will give a warning, and some cars will help assist the car back to the lane and preventing them to go to the other lanes. Some cars will alert the driver to go back to the lane by vibrating the steering wheel, making a sound, or show a sign on the dashboard, telling the driver to stay in the lane and be alert. Like the blind spot monitors, this feature will be useful for long distance journeys and freeways, allowing the drivers to feel safe by keeping inside the lane. Number 6. The self-parking assist. Parking can sometimes be a hassle and tough. For a tight, dark, and a narrow spot, it could be tricky to park into that spot. Lexus was one of the first cars to introduce this feature around 10 years ago, where the car could detect a parking space and could park automatically without touching the wheel or the pedals. Over the years, other manufacturers have followed it. Some manufacturers not only do parallel parking, but also a 90-degree parking. If you live in a tight area where parking is difficult, it is a good idea to have this option for your car, making the parking job easy. Number 7. Autonomous driving. Tesla was considered one of the first pioneers to introduce the autonomous driving. It is definitely a technology for the 21st century and a step into the autonomous driving world. Besides Tesla, other car manufacturers such as BMW, Lexus, Mercedes, and Audi have some autonomous driving features for a brief moment while driving. This gives the balance between the autonomous driving with the awareness on the road for the driver. Although the driver may not have their hands on the wheel, but the driver still needs to be aware of the traffic. These manufacturers have sensors to read the person's face to make sure he or she is not sleeping or looking away while driving. The goal for this feature is to have the car to be able to drive itself. Although we are not at the full autonomous driving level, but these manufacturers are giving the first taste on what autonomous driving will look like. So there you have it. What are your thoughts on my list? Make sure to share your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't already, please make sure to check out my other videos. And as always, please make sure to click on the subscribe button down below and click the bell for the notifications on any new videos on my channel. Thank you.